it says, but it's in red, so it has to be important. Nope, still can't read.
Here, let me see it.
We're getting evicted? I thought you said you handled the rent this month.
Yeah, about that. I quit my job to start selling watches because I figured it'd be more efficient considering how good I am at doing that, but then the watch account on me crashed and it's been really hard
we have to fix this. We have to scrounge $1,600 before the end of the month. Oh, screw it!
Well, how much do you have on you?
Yeah, about 3 cents.
And I have a $20 gift card. Oh, and $600 from your watch.
Wait, how did you do that?
I've got it. We could take the money we have, bring it to the casino, flip it, and then we'd have more money than we even need.
And look, alright, I could just pick up a few odd jobs. You could go with that with-was-sick thing again. That seemed to do pretty well. And then maybe we could get... You're already gone. Hey, you should come along. I'm gonna need the manpower. Let's go.
Coming at you.
Alright, here we are. If all goes to plan, we should be out of here in like 30 minutes tops.
Hey, you might be forgetting it's 3 in the morning. They don't open for another 7 hours.
Right. What were you saying about making another with-was-sick? Everybody loves gambling. Grandma, Dad, even little Timmy can't keep his hands off the cards. But what if I told you you could experience the thrill of losing it all without going outside? That's right, some of the highest rated games of all time accredit some, if not all of their success to spinning wheels, slinging cards, and hawking dice. But those are just mini games at best. What we really want is pure, concentrated wagering. Sure, there's literal gambling sites, but they're tasteless. What I want is pure RNG, with just enough strategy to make me feel like I have a chance of pulling through. Holy shit, it's the game in the title of the video! Dicey Dungeons is a roguelike deck builder, as proclaimed by their Steam page, which essentially means that it's a card game using non-traditional playing cards like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, with a high skill ceiling and shorter rounds, with random elements to keep every round feeling fresh. So exactly the same as every other card game. The roguelike tag may seem a little redundant when paired with deck builder, but it'll become relevant later, trust me. The gameplay loop is pretty simple. Choose one of 6 characters and go through 5 floors of random enemies with some health pickups, new cards, maybe an anvil to upgrade a card with, or a shop to spend the money you got from battles, and then you fight a boss, and bam, you're reset to 0, good luck on your next run. Seriously, that's it. As for the battles themselves, it's a very simple matter of rolling dice and matching them to the cards you want to play. Someone who's never played before can learn it in minutes. I even tested this theory with my kid sister, and what do you know, with 0 instructions she figured it out in seconds.
Well, if it's so simple, then why does it take you 7 hours to explain it?
What? Oh, hey, look, the casino's on.
Oh, sick.
Welcome to the Paradise City. How can I help you?
Yeah, actually, do you guys sell gambling? I need to engage in a get-rich-quick scheme, and fast.
Well, if it's speed you're looking for, we have a roulette table just over there.
Oh, thank fuck, it feels like my wallet's gonna piss itself. Everything on 36. Yep, nope. That's too easy. Make it 17. I won't lie, that was pretty fun. You can see why these things are so popular.
Oh, so you won?
Oh, no, fuck no. I just lost everything.
Why am I not surprised? Okay, well, what's the plan now, genius?
Thanks. Well, I'm sure there's something we can do around here to get money for free.
Well, actually, if you need cash, we're running it not quite the same ads, but similar to Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. It's to attract the kids. If you'd like to enter, it begins at... Do you have the time?
I do, actually. 1 second here. It's 10:05.
Well, that's 10 minutes from now. If you'd like to enter, you'd best use this time to read the rules.
Right. The game gives you a choice of 6 different playable characters, each with a unique gimmick. The warrior lets you re-roll a dice up to 3 times, which makes it much easier to get the numbers you want. The thief will copy one of your opponent's cards. I don't really like this one. The inventor will discard one of your cards permanently after every round, but it'll turn it into a reusable tool that you could use for the next round. The witch has you build your hand before you could use it, with the trade-off being that you could have multiple of each card and or choose which card you want to be upgraded this round. It's a time investment that leads to more flexibility. The Jester, which is my personal favorite, has you playing with a significantly bigger deck, with the ability to discard duplicate cards. Every character also has a limit break, which is just an extra ability that you could activate after taking enough damage. Nothing special most of the time, just something to flip the odds back in your favor. For example, doubling your next action, or in the case of the Jester, activating all duplicate cards for free, which is fucking ridiculously fun. Holy shit, I love this game. Hey, this game's pretty fun. I like games where I win. Each character gets 6 episodes, which really just boil down to modifiers on what would otherwise be a normal run. The first episode is always plain vanilla with no extra rules. The second and third are always completely original gimmicks, and the fourth, fifth, and sixth vamp up the difficulty considerably. This, in my opinion, is where Dicey Dungeons really starts showing its genius. You see, I'm not much of a fan of the roguelike genre. I've tried my hand at it a few times and I'm always turned away by the lack of information given combined with the general difficulty. You're usually just told the basic controls and just thrown into the thick of things, expected to continuously experiment with trial and error until you slowly come to understand how the game works. It can be overwhelming and the constant negative feedback can be off-putting. Dicey Dungeons' episode structure allows for the player to get familiar with the mechanics and succeed with basic strategies early on before slowly cranking things up and asking more from the player over time. Or, to put it simply, the game has an actual difficulty curve. Fuck. Nobody told me I had to think to play this game. Jesus, oh, God.
Your first game is ready. Table 3.
You're scared.
Hey, I got this, okay? I got plot armor, okay? Between the episodes and the different playable characters, there's a decent amount of variety to be had. And the fact that what cards are available to you change every run keeps you on your toes, always having to adapt and form different strategies. And while RNG is certainly a factor and able to make or break runs, success is still pretty reliant on you being able to play well regardless of the odds and using those odds to your advantage. But everything I've mentioned so far is pretty standard for roguelikes, besides the fact that a difficulty curve exists. So what's the point of this video? What makes Dicey Dungeons different? Why should you care? To me, it really boils down to 2 things: simplicity and charm. Let's start with this one. The fact that you could just open the game and start playing within minutes of even buying it, the fact that you always have all the information you need at your fingertips, and how everything can be described in just a short sentence, even the game's presentation of simple, mindless characters. It all draws you in so easily. You can predict how every interaction will play out as long as you're paying attention, and everything has its place, there's no white noise. The game is so simple and easily digestible and focused on what actually matters, which is you, your opponent, and the cards. Despite everything being understood within seconds, how all these mechanics interlock and play against each other takes so much thought and careful consideration. For example, despite type weaknesses not being explicitly stated like in Pokemon, each playable character is indirectly weaker and stronger against certain status effects. Don't get me wrong, every status effect in this game is super fucking annoying, but within certain builds, the downside of them can be much greater or lesser than the surface level description of them. The robot specifically does not deal well with blind, but is almost unaffected by freeze. At the end of the day, if you aren't planning out your actions a few moves or even rounds ahead, you're sure to fall once you get into the later episodes. You have to understand the strengths and flaws of your deck, your win condition, and your opponent's capabilities, all while calculating the risks of every possible play. This constant loop of min-maxing and strategizing is incredibly addicting and satisfying. I often find myself in positions where I could win by simply attacking once, but why would I do that when I could set up for a full-ass 20 damage combo? But even when you do inevitably fail, there's always something to be learned from both your successes and especially what ended your run.
Round 1, Table 3, Grand Finals. Dylan versus...
Wait, what?
Well, you see, we didn't get very many signups. Apparently it had something to do with this being against the law. I don't know. I never listened to my manager. Anyway, your first and final opponent will be...
気をつけろ。Dicey、城之内などに追い詰められるとはあまり僕を失望させるなよ。お前には僕の影武者として勝ち残ってもらわなければならない。
ご心配は無用です、マリック様。すでにお前が私に攻撃を加えることは許されない。王家の神殿はあるカードを聖筆に置くことで、
未だてめえのフィールドにはモンスターが一体もいねえ。俺のモンスターの総攻撃でてめえは終わりだぜ。
ジューセルケとは聖筆に封印された聖なるカードの守護神。
聖なるカード、それじゃあの聖筆に安置されたカードは。
そうだ、神のカード、ラーの翼神獣。
いいの僕にはどうしても気になるんだ。あの神殿の奥に置かれた聖筆が。お前も気づいていたか。あの神殿は明らかに何かを祀るもの。あの聖筆に何らかの秘密が隠されているに違いない。気をつけろ、城之内君。
おい、てめえのターンは終わったのかよ。
Full Metal Alchemist.
Between the moments of intense thought that comes with the gameplay loop, comes tension relievers in the form of the game's massive general charm. Each and every enemy in the game has a developed personality with small biographies that you can unlock by completing in-game challenges. It brings a nice sense of welcoming and friendliness to know that these aren't just brain-dead evil minions that you'd come to expect from games, but real characters who are here for the exact same reason you are. The personalities of the characters are often reflective of their abilities as well, which ties into gameplay quite nicely as it's easier to remember what each enemy is capable of before entering the battle. And there's something about how everyone has their own unique deck that just sparks joy inside of me. It's like we both built our own decks to reflect how we want to play. I did originally say that the simplicity and the charm were my two separate reasons for why this game is so great, but these two factors blend so well and bounce off each other so often that it's hard to distinguish them at times. I mean, have you seen this art style? Everything in this game just feels so Dicey Dungeons. The charm of the game, combined with the simple to learn, hard to master gameplay, and the amazing pace makes everything flow so well together that I just find it so hard to put down. And to cap it all off, it has an amazing soundtrack that perfectly accompanies the game feel. I've caught myself nodding my head and tapping my foot to the music more times than I can count. Not that I can count very high, and yet it never breaks your train of thought. It edges the line between background noise and pure heat so well. I swear you could use it for almost any situation imaginable.
Full Metal Alchemist.
城之内君。
おい、てめえのターンは終わったのかよ。
ドロー。このカードはなぜこれが私のデッキに。王家の神殿は私がマリック様を演じるために出したカード。本当に聖筆に入れるべきカードが私のデッキにあるなんて。
英雄の架け橋ビブロスト。そしてこのカードが生贄召喚に成功した時、サイコロを1回振る。出た目かける200。
得られるとあまり僕を失望させるなよ。いいの僕にはどうしても気になるんだ。あの神殿の奥に置かれた聖筆が。お前も気づいていたか。あの神殿は明らかに何かを祀るもの。あの聖筆に何らかの秘密が隠されているに違いない。気をつけろ、城之内君。
おい、てめえのターンは終わったのかよ。
いや、まだエンドを宣言してはいない。
未だてめえのフィールドにはモンスターが一体もいねえ。俺のモンスターの総攻撃でてめえは終わりだぜ。
Wow, I didn't think you had it in you.
All skill, baby.
But you...
Well played.
You truly are the most daring individual in the room.
That's a lot of numbers. This, we could pay rent and rents on it.
Well, since you earned it, I guess you could just keep the leftovers.
Really? Cool. Everything on 17. Oh, that was fun. Come on, let's go home.